Welcome to the Reality Trifecta podcast. Today we are covering Survivor 50 episode 5. All I gotta say is wow, just wow. Remember, I am recording this right now, immediately right after the episode was on. So this is a reaction, a genuine reaction afterwards. Let's get into it. So, Ozzy, he's upset that everybody has left him out of the vote. But later on in the episode, he comes to terms that, yeah, it was all a knee-jerk reaction. I want to get back to square one. But he still doesn't have strong feelings about Christian because Christian still, left him out. And he fully understood that Emily was giving him the hints. He was giving him the ideas, but he never really caught on to it. So if you really think about it, it's kind of a complicated situation. Then you go to the Sele tribe where Charlie, he's still going on and on about having negative thoughts about Rizzo, not voting for his number one ally, thinking that, okay, Rizzo is not that trustworthy and he has that kind of malice in him to not vote for his number one at the end. And that gives Charlie a little bit of PTSD. Later at the Sele tribe, Dee goes up to Rizzo and wants to play with Rizzo. And Rizzo realizes, wow, Dee wants to play with me. She could be a good ally for me moving forward. And they come to this idea where Rizzo can play with Dee, Cirie, and Camilla. And Camilla was basically the wild card of this new idea or plan. While Cirie, on the other hand, she's like, okay, Rizzo is telling me everything about his idol. Back in my day, everything was a secret. You never told anybody anything about what you had. So I'm really starting to like their dynamic a little bit. And with the guys, on the other hand, I feel like they were just doing things as simple as they can. Jonathan and Devins, they were trying to get close to one another. And over at the Kahlo tribe, Coach is giving Joe and Colby nicknames based off of Japanese folklore, which is such a Coach thing to do. Him and his coachisms. And he plans on playing the same way he has always played. While Joe, on the other hand, it's just loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. And if you guys listened to my analysis of each contestant before season 50 aired, I would say that for Joe to stand out, all he has to do is become independent, be an independent thinker, and just make his own moves whenever it's convenient for him. So far, I think Joe's too loyal. He's too much of a passenger. Devins, on the other hand, he's just a passenger at certain points of the game. But Joe, he really plays the part. And so you have a Coach, you have Colby, you have Joe having their own alliances. You have Tiffany being loyal to Aubrey. Aubrey and Genevieve are still on the same beach with each other. And you never really got to see more of the beef between the two. So you have that over at the Kahlo tribe. Alongside the Coach, Joe, and Colby, Chrissy's also with them too. So you have those four people. Which is interesting. But unfortunately, the Kahlo tribe has had the most lousy edit I have ever seen in a season of Survivor. I'm talking pre-merge. Now, you go right into the immunity challenge, which was also a good challenge. Before the challenge, Jeff announces 2 tribes are going to tribal council. I knew about it from the preview of last week, but I personally thought that they were going to have 2 tribes together and voting out one, just like they did in Game Changers. But I'm like, no, it's not going to be that. The production has to trim the fat of this huge cast that is competing. So, yeah, the losing tribes went separately. And for the first time, it looked like there was hope for the Vaatu tribe. But remember, I said that there's going to be lousy editing for this tribe. The Kalo tribe wins the challenge. Not a shock there. I mean, there's a reason why production isn't giving them the best editing so far of the season. Now Kalo has cemented themselves as being one of the best tribes in all of Survivor for never losing a challenge. But the problem about that is that they never went to tribal council and they never got their hands dirty into the game. Where so far this season, you have Emily, Christian, and Ozzy going to every single tribal council. And you go to the tribal councils. You have Vaatu, where it's just Angelina, Stephanie, Christian, Emily, and Ozzy. And by unanimous vote, unfortunately, Angelina gets voted out. And in a full circle moment, I was so happy. I was laughing. I felt like a high school kid again watching Survivor. Angelina gives everybody her jacket because it's starting to get cold in the beaches of Fiji. So she gave everybody her jacket when Natalie from David vs. Goliath couldn't give her jacket. So this is a good moment, and I feel like it's also cemented itself to be one of the best exits in Survivor history, top 10 at least. Now you have the Sile tribe at tribal council where they're mainly just talking about Rizzo, like, we don't know how Rizzo played, and he could be a wild card. He's a complete unknown. And honestly, I've always seen Rizzo as like a lucky player. In his season, he wouldn't have gotten as far as he did by instilling fear in people that he had an idol. And he wouldn't have gone farther with his outside alliance had they not recruited Yellow Sophie. So I feel like Rizzo's game has always been built around luck, but in a good way. And that is how the Riz God functions. Now, we are still into the beef between Charlie and Rizzo. This vote decides who has won the feud by a vote of 4-3. Charlie has been voted out. And I never saw this coming. I thought Charlie was going to go super far in this season, but it's kind of poetic justice. Let me say it. Let me say it out loud. Let me be the first to say it in Survivor media. it was poetic justice because this is what happens when you let your past dictate who you are. Just like how Charlie's past with Maria not voting for him dictated who he was as a player this season towards Rizzo. The correct path he should have taken was taking the path to become the player who he chooses to be. But in that sense, I believe the past really got to him. I hope that was a little bit of good philosophy. Now, we watched the preview, and it's going to be the merge. I can't wait to see how the merge is going to unfold with a season like Survivor 50, where all the things are going to go batshit crazy throughout the rest of the season. We get to see how things unfold, and I look forward to it. A thing that I liked about the episode was Jeff doing the impressions of other Survivor contestants. And I would love to see him do more impressions of the other contestants than the ones that we got tonight. Thank you all so much for listening. If you guys want to continue listening to more podcasts just like this one, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you guys can listen soon. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.